So good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, world. Good evening to you wherever you're listening to or watching me from. My name is Chioma Innocent, and I'm your host on the number one station that gives you a voice. This is Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and the program you're now tuned into is called The Recap. This is where we dissect and analyze issues that made major headlines during the week, and you are welcome. Yes, that's what we do right here on The Recap. We discuss and analyze issues, major topical issues that trended during the week. And of course, I'm never, ever alone. I have my analyst here in the studios with me. And of course, I'll be introducing him as the program progresses. But before we do that, I'd like to give you a brief rundown of the issues which we'll be discussing today. If you're just joining us, not to worry, you haven't missed a thing. The recap has just begun. Do tell a friend to tell a friend to tell an enemy that the recap has begun. It is time for you to tune in to the number one station that gives you a voice in other, for you to listen to the wonderful package we have for you today. Like I said, of course, I want to take you through the different topics we have for you today. Just a brief rundown of this topic so you can know what we'll be discussing today. Again, you're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I keep saying watching, and you might be wondering, where can you watch the program? All you need to do is head on over to YouTube, type into your search bar VOP 903 FM, VOP 903 FM, and you can get to see what's happening in the studios live and direct, in case you want to put a name to the face. A face to the name, rather, or you want to put a face to the voice, or you just want to see what our studio setup looks like. It's time for you to head on over to YouTube, type into your search bar VOP 903 FM on YouTube, and you get to watch the program live and direct as their heart. All right, quickly, let's look at the topics which we'll be discussing today. First up, nationwide protests. Peter Obi supporters are planning mayhem in Nigeria by Onanuga. He's alleged that Peter Obi's supporters, Peter Obi is a former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, that are planning mayhem in Nigeria. Well, the long and short is he's attributing this coming protest to the obedience, saying that they are the ones planning mayhem in the country, and if anything happens, if it dissolves into a state of anarchy, Peter Obi should be held responsible, and that's our very first topic for today. Moving forward, we'll also be looking at petrol landing cost now 1,117 naira per litre. This is according to marketers. The Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria announced on Wednesday that the landing cost of petrol is now 1,117 naira per litre. Landing cost means the price that the marketers are buying, right? The price where you follow come. My analyst is looking at me and shaking his head. Not to worry, he will explain to you in better detail. But yeah, that's it. You know, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, when you go to the market, you hold your capital and you buy an item for a certain price. Then by the time you get to your shop, you now add your own profit, your interests on that item before you sell. Yes, the amount for which you bought that item, that is what landing costs. You know what? Let's just leave the definition of that. We'll be looking at it later. But yes, our Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria saying that petrol landing cost is now over 1,000 naira per litre, which means we may be seeing the prices of petrol skyrocketing anytime soon. All right, we'll also be looking at the court reinstating Philip Shaibu as Edo Deputy Governor. And honestly, a lot has happened since the day the court reinstated Philip Shaibu as Edo Deputy Governor. And there is an update on this case. Shaibu has fully defected to the APC from the PDP to the APC. I'm bringing you more updates on that as the program progresses. This is breaking news. This is something that just occurred very, very recently, and I'm talking about earlier today. From there, we'll be looking at the House of Reps members saying they want to slash their salaries by 50% in order to assist the federal government to find a cure, find a panacea for the economic hardship across the country. And finally, we'll be looking at Ndume rejects fresh Senate appointment, saying, I stand by my statement. Ndume was appointed as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Tourism after he was removed as chief whip of the Senate, and he has said, I don't want it, and I stand by my statement that the president is being caged and he doesn't know what's happening in the country. Anyway, this and more we'll be discussing when we return from this very, 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 very short break. The recap has just begun at exactly 5 p.m. on the dot. The phone lines will be open for you to send in your for you to call in, share your opinions, your suggestions, your ideas, and everything which we'll be discussing today. It's another wonderful episode of the recap, and I and my analysts, we are here for you. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. Okay, it's time for me to introduce my guest into the equation. And you know him, some of you love him, and unfortunately, some of you don't. You're allowed to feel the way you do feel about him. He always says he doesn't care. His name is Mr. Peter Anarchy. He is an author, a journalist, as well as a political, social, and national affairs analyst. He's the author of the book Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. Now, this book was rated as one of the best development books in the world by the Wall Street Journal. And of course, here in Nigeria, it was adopted as a workbook for grooming entrepreneurs by the Small and Medium Scale Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria. Quite a repertory, quite the portfolio, if you ask me. Anyway, he's our analyst for today. As always, you are highly, highly, highly welcome to the recap today, Mr. Anarchy. Good to see you. Okay, so we have quite a bit to discuss because of our time. Let's really delve right into it. Peter Obi supporters are the ones planning mayhem in Nigeria. This is according to Onanuga. He's saying Obi should be held responsible for whatever crisis that would emanate from the upcoming protests. We do know that quite a number of people have been posting on social media that there will be protests from August 1 to 10, and the protest is hashtag end bad governance in Nigeria. These are people who are saying they just want Nigeria to be better. And Onanuga has tagged it an obedient protest, saying Obi should be held responsible. But if there's one thing that I've been seeing a lot, apart from people posting about this and saying we want to go on a protest, is many people distancing themselves from this protest, and most of them are also Obi supporters. So what is Onanuga saying? Before we get into it, for the purpose of these conversations, from now up until 6 p.m. to the callers who will be calling from 5 p.m. for everyone, and even for you, my analysts, who will be dissecting these topics for better understanding, please keep it civil, keep it polite. All right, I know that we may not agree with some things when people say, sometimes we may not agree with what we hear in the news, we may not agree with major developments that happen during the week, but keep it civil, keep it polite. Mr. Anarchy, over to you.
Yeah. Well, 2023 presidential election were contested by about 24 political parties, which means we have 24 presidential candidates in that election. But or there's a saying: if you go to a bush and see 5 trees standing, and the people are throwing a stone at one, if you go near, you see that one that people are throwing stone is the only one that had fruits. That's why people are taking interest on that particular one, ignoring the other ones. So what am I saying in effect? About 24 political parties contested the 2023 presidential election. Then why is everybody focusing on Obi, ignoring the others? Because Obi was the only one that shocked them. Obi was the only of Ife described P2B as a tsunami. Some people were saying that it was 4 people that were tweeting in a room. Understand? That was what Adams Oshomo and others were saying around 2022. That it was only 4 people that were making noise that's on the social media. But what did they see? They were shocked down to their bone marrow. So that's why these people, that's Obi, is living rent-free in the head of Bayo Onanuga, Reno Omokri, Daniel Bawanda, and others. Obi is living rent-free. Obi has become their nightmare. And Obi will continue to be their nightmare. Because Obi has achieved what they will never achieve in their 10 incarnations. That's if they die and come back 10 times, they cannot achieve what P2B achieved under 1 year. Just between 2022 and 2023. So that's why Obi has become their nightmare. Nobody in Nigeria in particular and the world in general can attribute violence to P2B. Nobody. Either by his words or action, Obi is a civilized human being. So, but when somebody is spending, he will always look for somewhere to hold. I have read many reports on this one. Even the report that I read before coming to this studio was the RY Youth ambassadors saying that they are still going to protest.
So basically, this protest is being the tsunami of this protest is coming all the way from the north, but nobody seems to be seeing that.
So that's the report that I just read before coming here. RY Youth ambassadors that they are still going to protest. That's from August 1st. There's no obedience that have ever talked about protesting. There's no obedience that has ever talked of protesting. But because P2B is their nightmare, that is why all of them are focusing. They want to earn their pay, their salary, by using P2B's name.
So you do not agree that this protest is emanating from his camp, basically?
These are hard-working, responsible youths. The obedience are hard-working, responsible youths who have what they are doing. So, and somebody who is busy, who is productive, has no reason to protest.
Not even because you bear in mind that this hardworking person is also facing the hardship in the country.
They are overcomers. They are overcomers. So, Bayo Onanuga is afraid of his own shadows. He is afraid of his own shadows. He thought that it is that they can use intimidation. Intimidation is not working. They have tried many things which have not worked. So he is now looking for who to hold responsible. But the truth is that the presidency is their own enemies. Their ineptitude, their inefficiency, their incompetence, their knowing next to nothing about government is their own problem. So they are their own problem. If this protest hold, the presidency should be held responsible. If this protest hold, the presidency should be held responsible because the youth has found them not doing what they are supposed to do.
Which is the reason for the protest?
Government is about the people. Without the people, there is no government. Though leaders hold power in trust for the people. Power belongs to the people. And when the people feel that government is not doing what they want, they can say, we need our mandate back. They can say, we need our mandate back. And they can do this in so many ways. This can be done in so many ways. But I am against violent protest. I am against breakdown of law and order. I am against destruction of properties, both public and private. But for protest is one of our fundamental human rights. Protest is one of our fundamental human rights. And I have said this in this program before, there are several ways of protesting. Coming to work and doing nothing is part of protest. Sitting in your house is part of protest. Then going out to the street is also part of protest. But for those who want to go to the street, I want it to be violent free. I don't want police to shoot anybody because Nigeria does not worth dying for. So I will not want anybody to die for Nigeria. I don't want anybody to die for Nigeria because it doesn't worth dying for. So if they must go out and protest, let it be violent free. There should be no breakdown of law and order. And there should be no destruction of properties. But if this protest should go on, it is the fault of the presidency for not doing what they promised to the people. We should go to bank with that.
Okay. Let's move forward in the conversation. It's exactly 20 minutes past 4 p.m. Remember that at exactly 5 p.m. the phone lines will be open. You can share your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, and your suggestions on every topic we'll be discussing this evening when the phone lines are open. You can also send messages to our WhatsApp line at exactly 5 p.m. I will call out those phone lines to you. Now let's move on to our very second topic for today. Petrol landing cost is now 1,117 naira per litre. Before we proceed, right, I need you to explain to us what landing cost is.
Okay, landing cost is the price at which the PMS got to the shores of the country. That's after, because before petroleum products get to Nigeria, a lot of things happen. There will be insurance. It can be transferred from one ship to the other. So all those things, landing cost is the price at which it gets to our country, not at the price that it gets to the filling stations. No, at the price at which it gets to the country, that is the landing cost, and that is what we will have avoided if Dangote or refinery is working well, because there will be no landing cost. It is being refined internally. So we have been saying it over and over that President Tinubu or the presidency is paying a subsidy, and I was one of those that first of all said it, because when you check what is happening in the world today, especially the trouble in the Middle East, the OPEC countries, then if you check what that the price of crude oil and the price of oil, you know that there's no way fuel will be sending in this country below what is selling in the international market. So it was from there that I said it 2 months after Tinubu announced that subsidy is gone, that this government is paying subsidy, before other people begin to lend their voices. So this is now a revelation. because landing cost cannot be 1,117 naira, and the fuel will be selling at 700 naira. It's practically impossible.
That is, you cannot sell for below the amount you're buying.
Far below your cost price. It doesn't happen. So from the one, I've been saying that government is paying between 400 to 500 per liter of petrol. I have been saying it, that government is paying between 400 to 500 naira per liter of fuel. Onanuga, who has no integrity, came and denied it. Then the Minister of Information came and denied it. Now, it is open. It is open. That means I'm not against government subsidizing things, because that is the only thing that Nigerian masses is gaining from the government. And we are paying taxes. Therefore, we deserve something from the government too. So in other countries of the world, they subsidize energy. They subsidize fuel. They subsidize even housing. So, and that's what you benefit from government because of the taxes you are paying. But these people are now living in denial that they are not paying subsidy. Now minus 700 from 1,117, that's what they are paying as subsidy as of today.
On each liter of petrol.
On each liter of fuel. Tomorrow, Bayo Onanuga will come again and say that they are not paying subsidy. So, because they think that every Nigerian is like them who don't reason. They think that every Nigerian is like them who cannot think out of the box. So from day one, Tinubu has been paying petrol subsidy. If he's not paying petrol subsidy, and then the PC say they want to borrow $3 million. At least if they're not paying subsidy, the money for subsidy will have been gone to NNPC. But because they are paying subsidy, that's why the NNPC want to borrow money. So this thing, one thing nice has a
NLC President Joe Ajero was saying that the reason why they agreed on that 70,000 naira was that the federal government explained that if they should go with the 250,000 they were asking for, that they would have had to increase the price of fuel.
Okay, this also shows you that that their hands are still that's on the fuel thing. Because if the market forces are determining the price of fuel, government cannot tell you that we will increase price of fuel. As simple as that. So they don't think before they talk. They don't think before they talk. And that's what happens when you steal a mandate. You will be in a hurry to cover up everything. And as you are covering, you are being exposed. So now we know that kerosene has been fully deregulated. Nobody is talking about that. Nobody is talking about that. But when Tinubu said that subsidy is gone, it means that he has left petroleum products to be determined by market forces. Now, who is telling NLC that if they are to pay 250, they have to increase fuel? So they don't know the basic elements, economic elements. And that's why the country is where it is.
And how can we actually come out from it?
Well,
when you say that's why the country is where it is, I mean, many people will be happy about the fact that fuel price is not going up. But you're saying it's not necessarily something to be happy about.
It is not one, they are subsidizing. Just like what they were doing with the I said it here over and over that Cardoso is supporting the Naira. People objected. I said he's using our reserves in supporting the Naira. I said it here that the current value of Naira was artificial. You remember that this is not the true value of the Naira. Some sycophants objected. At the end of the day, what is happening? Naira is still selling at 1,500 and something. So the only way out of this is when they begin to do the right thing. But doing the right thing requires honesty. And the beginning of honesty is one, taking responsibility of your action. They have deceived Nigerians over and over. And if you don't take responsibility of your actions, you cannot move forward. Tinubu need to come out and apologize to Nigerians, telling them the reason why he deceived them, that he was not paying subsidy. And from there we take it up.
What would an apology solve?
At least let us see a mind shift, a repented soul, even if it's for a while.
Okay, then you are listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent. I'm your host. And on the other side of the table, I've got Mr. Peter Onanuga, development economist, acclaimed author, as well as a journalist, a print journalist as well. And we've been looking at certain topics today. We started with the topic of Onanuga saying the protest that is coming up is being planned by Peter Obi supporters. They're planning mayhem, and the federal government should hold him responsible as he wants to replicate what Onanuga called the destructive NSAS protest in Nigeria. And we just talked about petrol landing costs coming in at 1,117 naira per litre. Mr. Peter Onanuga is insisting that subsidy is there. It's been paid. If not, if the major energy marketers are saying the landing cost is 1,000.
If they're not paying subsidy and the landing cost is 1,117 naira, fuel will be selling at 1,500 per litre. That's if they're not paying subsidy. The landing cost is 1,117. Fuel will be selling at 1,500.
And do you think that would have been a breaking point for Nigerians? Probably why the federal government is trying to avoid that.
Well, I don't want to go into that. Some people will feel insulted.
Okay, then let's move forward in the conversation. Court reinstate Philip Shaibu as Edo State Deputy Governor and ordered the IGP to immediately restore his security. This happened on Wednesday morning, where a federal high court sitting in Abuja said Philip Shaibu was, when he was removed as Edo State Deputy Governor, that was illegal. Justice James Omotosho held that the removal of Shaibu from office was illegal, unconstitutional, null and void. And of course, Shaibu wanted to go back to his duties, but of course there was a lot of fracas arising from that. And just today, Shaibu has moved from the PDP, he's defected from the PDP to the APC. One might say they saw that coming with his support for the APC governorship candidate.
Well, for me, I have been able to study the judgment pattern of a lot of judges in the country. I have taken time to study their judgment pattern because most of them don't deliver judgment based on the evidence before them. They deliver judgment based on outside interest. That's outside the court interest. So I have been able to study their judgment pattern. And I can tell you for free that anytime PDP matter is brought before Omotosho, PDP should start preparing for an appeal because they are not going to get fair judgment. Anytime PDP matter is brought before Omotosho.
You mean this particular judge himself?
anytime PDP matter is brought before Omotosho, PDP shouldn't even go to court, because it's going to be against what they should be thinking is to prepare for an appeal, because they are not going to get a fair judgment.
But as at when Shaibu went before the court, he was still a PDP member. So isn't that contradictory?
It's not contradictory. This judgment is against PDP.
How is it against the
This
PDP?
judgment is against PDP.
I would actually like you to expatiate on that point. How is this against the PDP? Seeing as the person who brought it was a member of the PDP as at when he brought that judgment.
Shaibu was already out of PDP from last year, because he knew that he's not going to get this thing that he is looking for.
But the defection was only made official just today, just a few hours ago. Are you saying that the judge already knew?
Shaibu is from Edo North, where Adams or Oshiomhole came from. And Obaseki took over from Adams or Oshiomhole. So there's no reason whatsoever why power should go back to Edo North again. So PDP practices a rotational system of that's in their states. So it is the turn of the essence to produce the governor of Edo. So Shaibu knows that he's not going to get that ticket. He was already working with. He was already doing anti-party. He was already doing anti-party before all these things. Mind you, even before this judgment came out, he has donated his campaign office to the APCM candidate.
What you're saying is that him following his ambition to become the next governor of the state was an anti-party activity, because he knew that it wasn't the turn of his own zone or region.
It's a useless ambition. Ambition must be tenable. Ambition must be realistic. A cripple must not have the ambition of playing in the Premier League. Understand me? A cripple must not nurse the ambition of going to play in Europe.
Well, why not?
So it's a useless ambition. Ambition must be realistic. It must be tenable. So they brought this issue to spite PDP. And
when you say they, who's the they? In
the enemies of PDP.
Who are the enemies? Because that's why I keep reiterating the fact that as at the time Shaibu went there, he was still a PDP person.
Forget he is not a member of PDP. He was holding meeting with members of the other parties, especially APC. So and it's known. So the judgment they brought this petition against PDP to a judge that is anti-PDP. The evidences are there.
Can you give me certain analogies, certain examples of times
the evidences
when
are there.
The cases have involved the PDP and how the Justice Omotosho handled it? At least two examples to support what you've said.
This is the same person that Wike is using in Abuja.
How?
I'm telling you, this particular judge is the same person that Wike is using in Abuja.
As you're telling me, I'm listening to you. What I need is examples.
It's the same person that Damagu, the acting PDP national chairman, is using in Abuja. So anytime a matter and all the cases that have gone against PDP was delivered by this judge. Go and do your research. So anytime any matter of PDP is brought to his court, PDP should just begin to two things: either file an appeal, we are not going to get fair hearing from this judge, or prepare for an appeal.
All right. Before I begin my research, or rather, I would like to begin my research from the examples that you want to give me.
Let's move forward.
All right, then. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're discussing the issues that made the major headlines during the week, and we're currently on the topic of the court reinstating Philip Shaibu as Edo Deputy Governor. In all of this, you are not surprised that he has finally made his defection official.
It's official. It's now official. But this thing started more than a year ago.
You're saying he was only a member of the PDP on paper, not in body and soul.
This thing started more than a year ago. It started more than a year ago, and that was why Obaseki began to fight him right from time.
Okay, then. Still on the recap, we're moving on to topic number 4. House of Reps members slashed their salaries by 50% in order to assist the federal government in bringing an answer to the pervasive economic hardship across the country. Now, the House of Rep members are saying they earn 600,000 naira monthly, and they want to give out 50% of this, which is about 300,000 naira every month from each member of the House of Reps to be accrued into the federal government's pockets to help solve economic hardship in the country. One would wonder why these lawmakers cannot actually talk about or entrench or pass bills and laws that would make life easier for the average Nigerian, rather than saying, for how long will Nigerians continue to receive donations and palliatives? Are these really the answers to the economic hardship, the hunger and the insecurity that we're facing in the land right now?
Well, that is deception. What they did is deception. They are playing to the Gandari.
How is that?
They feel that Nigerians are fools. Look, salary is nothing. Even if they tell you that, that's to show you how wicked they are. That they just say in the next 6 months, isn't it?
Are they supposed to do that until the end of their tenure?
Wait. Even if they tell you that they will not take a salary for 4 years, don't clap for them.
Why not?
Salary is nothing. Where their main money is in their allowances. That's where their money comes from.
All the wardrobe allowances, sitting allowance, food allowances.
Some of them will still be going home with 30 million naira, 40 million naira allowances. So it's it's even stingy on their own part, saying 50%.
They're meant to donate 100% or how much?
Even if they donate 100%, I won't even be impressed, because salary. How much is the salary that's of a president? 2.2 million. But he spends more than 10 million in an hour. So salary is deceptive. Even just like you, go and Google the salaries of a top civil servant, and you will see maybe 500,000, 600,000. They are building houses worth billions of naira. Where did the money come? So salary is deceptive. Nigeria shouldn't allow salaries to deceive them. So for me, what they did is nothing. They did not do anything.
Apart from the fact that the salaries are not just the main thing, and they have other allowances that they go home with, which is the major thing. So even if they don't take half of their salaries, to not impact them in any way. Even if
they don't take it for 4 years, it means nothing.
But apart from that, I want to look at it from the angle of these handouts that it seems is what always accrues to the common Nigerian. I did a research during the week, and I looked at all the loans that have been collected from the World Bank in the 1 year of this administration, and it amounted to about $4.95 billion in 1 year. In that 1 year, we had cases of the presidential yachts, the presidential jets, the VP's residence being renovated or commissioned with 21 billion, the 160 million that was used to buy SUVs for each lawmaker. We had all of that. And when you look at the palliatives that Nigerians had received in all that time, it was 8,000 naira per month for 12 million families, 50,000 naira to 100 businesses, trucks of rice to each state. So why they are getting billions, the average Nigerian is getting a cup of rice, maybe 1 pack of spaghetti and all of that? Is that really what will assuage our hunger? How long before we stop getting handouts, before they realize that handouts will not feed 200 million Nigerians?
Okay, before I answer that, now imagine somebody earning such amount of money and driving SUV of 160 million naira. Is it not a contradiction? So for me, this happens when you cannot create wealth of your own. It happens when you cannot think outside the box. I have said it in this program. The head of state of Burkina Faso, Traoré, told the IMF, I don't need your money, go to hell with your money. I want to develop a Burkina Faso from our own resources. That is what they say. Now go and check the GDP of Burkina Faso. Check the GDP of Niger. So it's when you cannot create wealth, you become an almajiri. That's why I say we are running an almajiri system of government, always asking for help. This is Babianda kind of administration. And it happens because you cannot create your own wealth. You don't have what it takes, the intelligence, the acumen to create your own wealth. So when you cannot do that, you resort to begging. You resort to putting your generations yet unborn into debt that they don't even know how it was incurred.
Okay, then you're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, the number one station that gives you a voice. Remember that you can get to watch us live on YouTube. All you need to do is open the app, type into the search bar VOP 903 FM, and you can get to see what's happening in the studios live and direct. In case you want to put a face to the name or you want to put a face to the voice, or you just want to see what our studio setup looks like, head on over to YouTube. We are streaming live in real time right now. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We've discussed quite a number of topics. We started with Onanuga saying Peter Obi's supporters are planning mayhem in Nigeria with the protest that's set to hold from August 1st to the 10th. He's saying that it's going to be like NSAS and Obi should be held responsible for anything that comes out of it. We also talked about petrol landing costs being 1,117 naira. This is according to the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria. We also talked about the court reinstating Philip Shaibu as Edo Deputy Governor. Now, this same Philip Shaibu has also defected officially from the PDP to the APC. And we just talked about the House of Reps members slashing their salaries by 50% in order to help the federal government reduce the case of economic hardship across the country. And finally, we want to look at Ndume rejecting a fresh Senate appointment. Now, you recall that former Senate Chief Whip, Senator Ali Ndume, was this week removed as a Chief Whip. Now, the APC, who formed the majority in the House, said they want Ndume removed because he's been criticizing the president too much. Now, you need to recall that Ndume granted an interview to BBC Hausa where he said that Tinubu is caged, there's food insecurity in the country, and the president does not seem to know what he's doing. And the APC was not happy about such criticism of the president. After he was removed as Senate Chief Whip, a few days later, he was appointed as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Tourism, and he said, I don't want this. I stand by my statement. I do not want this appointment. Mr. Noski, are you proud of him for what he's done by standing by his statement?
Ndume is a man, and I'm proud of him. Our Senate is now like a ministry of the presidency. That's what that's our Senate is like now, with Akpabio as the permanent secretary. That's the type of Senate that we have now. Ministry of Senate with Godswill Akpabio as the permanent secretary. Because this is not how a Senate could function. Because the Constitution talked about separation of powers. Constitution, according to, I think, Montesquieu, talked about separation of powers, that the three arms of government should be separated from each other. But now our Senate is now like a ministry under the presidency.
It feels like an extension of the executive.
Where if you mention Tinubu, they will run and go and tell him, and he will be punished. This is not democracy. This is not democracy. What we have now is totalitarian system of government. That's everything for the state and nothing against the state. That is what we are running now, which means the Senate is non-existent. The judiciary is non-existent. It is only the executive that is functioning. And this is, as I say, it's not a democracy. Then, for Ani Ndume, he spoke like a man. And what he said was the mind of 98% of Nigerian masses. He spoke the voice of the voiceless. He spoke the mind of Nigerians who are going to bed without food. He spoke the mind of Nigerians who don't know where or when their next meal will come from. He spoke the mind of Nigerians who now buy yam that are cut. Understand me? Cut me 1,000 naira yam. Cut me 500 naira yam. Nigerians are no longer buying one whole tuber of yam under Tinubu administration. So this is the people that Ndume spoke on their behalf. And what Ndume said is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. He said that there's food scarcity in the country. We all know that. There's food scarcity. How much is the price of rice? It's a bag of rice. How much is the bag of beans? How much is the bag of gari? So there's food. How much is enough of bread? So there's food scarcity in the country. And Ndume said, if this scarcity is added to the already insecurity, the consequences is going to be severe, which is true. And again, another thing that he made me proud, when they removed him he was formerly vice chairman of appropriation committee, which is the most lucrative committee in the Senate. Appropriation committee is the most lucrative. So as a very high-ranking member of the Senate, they made him that the vice chairman of the appropriation committee. So they removed him and they put him as chairman of tourism committee. Ndume said, no, I am not a tourist. I don't know anything about tourism. I'm not interested. Now compare this to under Buhari, where the Minister of Education, Adamu, said that he did not know anything about education until he was appointed the minister. How can you give what you don't have? And a ministry as critical as education, that you appointed somebody who does not know a jack about education, and the man accepted and served for 8 years. Now, check Tinubu's own, where Adenabu, the Minister of Power, is a banker. He accepted that to serve where he has no what? Competence. Check his aviation ministry. Festus Kiyamo is a lawyer. He has no business being in he's a constitutional, he has no business being in the aviation ministry. But just to answer a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he accepted. So Ndume has shamed all of them. He has shown them how a man of integrity operates. You don't accept what you don't have competence for. So for today, Ndume is my hero. I'm proud of him.
I need you to recall that this is someone who is a part of the opposition, and the fact that he rejected this position or the fact that he's speaking or criticizing the president does not mean he's not following what the party is doing, or does not separate him from being a member of the APC.
One, it is only in Nigeria that criticism is viewed as enmity. There's nothing wrong in saying the truth. Ndume said the truth. Ndume said the truth. In the other parts of the world, criticism is welcomed because it helps to point the government at the right direction. It helps to keep government on their toes. But here, when you criticize government, you become an opposition. You become an obedient. Understand? But whether you talk or you not talk, you must die. So it's better I talk and die.
You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It's 6 minutes before 5 p.m. on the number one station that gives you a voice recorded on the hour 5. The phone lines will be open so that you can share your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions, and your opinions with us. We've been talking on issues that made major headlines during the week. We just talked about Ndume rejecting a fresh Senate appointment after his removal as chief whip. Before that, we spoke about the House of Reps members slashing their salaries by 50% in order to help alleviate the economic hardship being experienced across the country. Before that, we spoke about the court reinstating Philip Shaibu as Edo Deputy Governor. Philip Shaibu has now officially defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress in Edo State. And before that, we talked about petrol landing cost being 1,117 naira per litre, according to the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria. And our very first topic for today was Bayo Onanuga blaming the imminent protest on the obedient movement and saying Peter Obi supporters are planning mayhem in Nigeria and the Obi should be held responsible if the protest dissolves into anarchy. Again, at exactly 5 p.m. on the dot, the phone lines will be open so that you can share your opinions, your ideas, and your suggestions with us. Still on Ndume, right? Like he said, he declined the offer, saying he's not a tourist and he's not interested in accepting the chairman on tourism because he's not knowledgeable about tourism. And he also added, it is unpatriotic to stand by Mr. President with whatever he does. It is patriotic to speak the truth, not only to the president, but anybody for that matter. It is unpatriotic not to speak the truth to power or anybody, and I still stand by that. While one may say, oh, I mean, that is, he's morally upright for doing this or for doing that. Let's actually talk about the fact that you've repeated regularly that the APC has nothing to offer Nigerians, and this man is a part of that party. The fact that he's quote unquote speaking truth to power does not remove him from the APC. One would think that if he really wants to distance himself from the present administration, he will probably defect or leave the party.
Well, he is an adult. Understand that's he is an adult and he's a man. He's a straight talker. And there's one statement that he made there. He said that he contested for the position of the Senate. That he did not contest to be the chief whip. That he didn't contest to be the vice chairman of appropriation and committee.
But when all of these positions came, he accepted them with open arms.
He accepted it. Understand me? But what he contested for is to be a senator.
Like you said, when he was given vice chairman on the appropriation committee, he did not refuse. When he was given Senate chief whip, he did not refuse. As much as he might say, I'm not a tourist, did he go somewhere to learn how to be Senate chief whip, or is it because his position is not juicy enough?
And with that position, I say, appropriation is the most lucrative committee in the Senate.
And tourism is not?
Appropriation is the most lucrative committee in the Senate.
One could infer that tourism is not, and that's also another reason for him refusing.
So if he is like the other hypocrites, like the other sycophants, once you are given that lucrative committee, you keep your mouth shut. But Ndume is not that kind of a person. Upon that he's holding a very lucrative position in the Senate, he is still bold enough to speak truth to power. That's how we know the man.
Okay, then. It's 2 minutes before 5 p.m. We need to go take a very short break. When we return, the phone lines will be open for you to speak. Of course, we're Voice of the People. We're the number one station that gives you a voice. We make sure that you have a voice on each and every one of our programs. We'll be taking a very short break. And when we return, it will be time for you to speak right here on the number one station that gives you a voice. Don't go nowhere. The recap is still on. We'll be back in about 2 short minutes. Yes, in about 2 short minutes, we'll be back.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
From the views on the streets,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and pressure for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills 3 things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
You have to know the past to understand the present. So, let's bring you up to speed on important moments in the polity that you might have forgotten.
Politics as normal have been suspended today.
Detailed review plus analysis of all the local.
Senate moves to recover 6 trillion naira ground rent from property owners stage 5.
And foreign stories that made the headlines during the week.
President Putin accepts defeat. President Putin keeps on coming back for more.
All of the intrigues.
CSS confirmed interest flow in store in central government.
Tension.
The process through which people come into office is far more fundamental, more important than what they do now.
Suspense and political dramas.
This is a shining moment. I commend
the Higgy Haggers that took center stage just within the week.
You cannot criticize African countries for being undemocratic.
Join the conversation on The Recap every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. only on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Study the past if you want to define the future.
Okay, phone lines are now open as earlier told you, and the number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of the conversation. If you would rather send a message via WhatsApp line, you can send a WhatsApp chat, or you can also call us on the WhatsApp line. It's 0817 175 63 0817-175-6338. Again, it's 0817-175-6338. Let's see who is my first caller for this evening. 0700-903-903-903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. All right, then turn down the volume on your radio set and we can have a conversation. All right, 0700-903-903-903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Good evening, sir.
He can hear you.
UK Spotlight.
Welcome, UK. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, I want Nigeria to open their eyes very well. Everybody, all the poor people in this country are dying. They are dying.
But the rich are dying too.
Number two.
The rich ones, are they not dying too?
They are not dying. I'm coming. Then, we have a refinery in this country. Being a country, we are scratching hands to repair our refinery, which is an evil. If we cannot be able to rebuild our refinery, I want Nigeria to open eyes. We are not going any strike. We want Buhari to bring 27 trillion he collected to rebuild the existing refinery in Nigeria. That's what we want. And those who stole our money should bring it. Then we repair our refinery. We cannot rely on Dangote's refinery and the one in the north. I think maybe I don't know whether the northern they are hearing our voice. I don't understand. I don't understand. So we want our refinery to be working. We cannot open eye. We bought fuel 1,000 naira. Why we go to a hotel, person paying 40,000 naira cannot feed 500 naira for hotel for booker. Which means none of the Nigerian citizen is working. We are not working. You pay transport, you do all the sort of expenses. How can we survive it? How can we survive it? If you sick, you are your own. You die for nothing. Medicine is, the least medicine is 2,000. How can we survive such situation in this country? Let Buhari bring 27 trillion he collected, he stole, to reduce our refinery.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Choma.
What's your name and location, please?
Choma, my name is Joval.
Welcome, Joval. Great to hear from you.
Yes, I greet your guest, Mr. Nosika Oman.
He greets you too.
Choma, what Mr. Ahmed Lawan said has become the truth.
What did he say?
Yes, that he cannot see the president. That it is difficult for the president to be seen, to have no accessibility to the president. And he went further to mention that his wife went to the market and he gave accurate prices of items in the market, beginning from basket of tomato, rice, beans. He mentioned all those things. And the next day, what the Senate under or in charge of Senator Akpabio did was to remove him. But he gave a caveat in his speech. He said that if these things continue, that he's afraid of what will befall the country. Of course, when the people are hungry and pushed to the wall to the extent, this human instinct that strive for survival could make the people pour out on the streets. That aside, now he's been removed. It shows you for real that the presidency or the Senate is now an appendage to the presidency. The Senate is not working at all for the people. They are not representing us. They are representing themselves and the president. So now, let us look at it from that angle. Whether they like it or not, it is time that Nigerians begin to ask those who are supposed to be representing us. All of us cannot be speaking to the president. They are supposed to be our mouthpiece. And criticism is very healthy in democracy. It makes democracy to work very well. I tried. But what do we have here? The opposite. Okay, now look at what happened in UK. UK, you can see that the House of the Common or whatever house there, they have season debates every Tuesday. They tell the Prime Minister what he's not doing well, and as to the extent that they could suggest the election to remove the Prime Minister in office. Nobody is cowed. Instead, they are getting it right. Okay, let's bring it to this other news item that you brought today concerning the issue of the food item also. Choma, things are unaffordable in the market. We can no longer breathe. If this president promised us that he will give Nigerians living wage and he signed 70,000 naira to be the salary of the Nigerian worker, then what is he doing to curb inflation? On Edo State, it's very simple. Philip Shaibu has always been an APC member who was brought into PDP by Obaseki because they were running away from Oshomale. And he just went back to where he came from. I don't think that is even a news. So he just went back to where he came from. But one thing is certain. Edo people will tell you that Edo no be Lagos. They know what they want. When election happens, you will see what they will do there. I am not from that state, but I know that they know what they want and they know who they vote for. That is what I have to say this afternoon, Chama.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call, Joval 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I've picked your call. Oh, good evening.
Good, my dear. How is work, my sister?
Very well. What's your name and location, please?
Oh. Madam.
Can you hear me?
My dear, God bless you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm
Thank
hearing
you.
with you. Can you
All
hear
right.
me
Yeah.
also?
Let's hear your opinion in a minute, please.
Okay. What I'm saying is this, that my brother over there, my mentor, I call him my mentor. There's something he make this evening that I want to know more. You see that President of Nigeria receives so million in an hour. Don't know whether you can comment it again.
What? Come again. What's your question? Are you talking about the salary of Nigeria's president?
He receive he earn like some millions of naira in an hour.
No, that's not what he
whether I'm
said.
correct or
Now,
not.
what he said is, right, just like the House of Reps members said their salary is 600,000 naira every month. He said that allowances is more than that money. So even if they remove half of their salary, it will not touch them. Then the salary of Nigeria's president, according to Mr. Anoske, is about 2 million naira every month, right? But that the president can't spend more than 10 million naira in an hour. He never said that that's the amount that the president is paid every hour. Of course, we don't do hourly wages in Nigeria. All right? So don't get it twisted.
Okay.
Fear
God bless
catch you,
What I
Abi.
want to add there. Yeah, I'm okay now.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. What I want to add there is this. My sister, just what's happening in Nigeria here, just everybody just hold on and heart patient. Just one day. I don't want to protest, so I don't know. But let them continue cheating on Nigeria and they calling us mumu. Just one day, this nonsense will end. That's my promise to Nigerian politicians.
Okay. Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. It's 12 minutes past 5 p.m. We'll be taking these calls for the next 30 minutes. Okay, so keep listening. Of course, the recap is right here on your airwaves. Keep listening, keep watching, keep streaming, keep liking, keep writing your comments, keep sending in your messages. I definitely want to hear from you. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
My name is Godwin calling from Ayobo.
Welcome, Godwin. Let's hear from you in a minute.
Okay, I want to talk about the tribal issue.
Please
first.
go ahead.
Just like our guest in the studio said, they are using a motor show to work against PDP. Everybody knows. Even the issue of River State, any case that goes to a motor show from River State, you will see that he will deliver against PDP. That is number one. Then, secondly, the issue of Onanuga. I don't know, this man is old enough to reason before he come out to talk. What has Peter Obi done to him? I don't really know. This man, every time he come out to talk, it's always out of point. This hardship now is affecting everybody. This protest that is coming us now is not only from Peter Obi. Everybody is facing this hardship in Nigeria, and they know about it. Even people that voted for APC are part of this protest. Why is it against P2B? Say P2B is the cause of this protest that is coming up. I know this man, they will always be jealous of him because he's a man of integrity. P2B is a man of integrity. So let just any statement that comes from Onanuga, we should not be taking it serious because he's not a serious human being. Always, anytime he comes out to talk, it's always out of point. But I don't blame him. Somebody should sit him up and let him know that whenever whatever he wants to come out to, let it just be genuine. Let him reason before he talk, not to talk anyhow. People are angry. People are hungry. So for this protest now, it's not only P2B people that will be there that are coming out to protest. It's everybody. We are all facing this hardship. Go to the market. We know how the price of goods or foods are now in the market, and this man will not leave us alone. Chairman, thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Godwin, for your call. I do appreciate it. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Yes, I'm calling you from Itire at the moment.
Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Yes, I'm taking part for the first time in this your program. So I am a first-time caller.
Wow. Thank you so much. My belly is a little far from me. I would have rung it for you.
So, yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, my take is concerning Mike Anenu or whatever is his name. That say that the protest that is coming up is being organized or being arranged by obedient members. I believe the time of propaganda is over. Since they use propaganda, they use lies and deceit to come into power. They have gotten the power. They should do better things with the power. You know, if you remember and if you can see what is happening, when Tinubu visited Lagos I think during the Salah time, what happened? The people who were shouting, Ebin Fami, who was those people? It was obedient people too. It was obedient people that were shouting that they are hungry. Like I always said, Buhari was one of the luckiest presidents that we have, that he ruled this country for that 8 years and there was nothing to show for it. This man might not be all that lucky. He should watch out. If God has given him opportunity for him to contribute his own idea for the Nigerians, he should use it and use it wisely. There's no way you can cover the truth. Like I always tell other people, even in your same station, that a liar is a man with a very short memory. Have they forgotten what they told Nigerians? Did APC forget what they promised Nigerians? But today, what is it? It's the other way around. It's better, Tinubu better come out and tell Nigerians, oh, he's sorry about subsidy. Because it was the same subsidy they were protesting in Ojota. Where is Tunde Bakari? Where Wale Soyinka? Where are they? They should not forget that that place is still open. And when that day some Nigerians will come out, whether they like it or not,
okay,
they will come out to show that they are not happy with it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be part of the conversation. 0700 903 903 903 and WhatsApp at 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. What's your name and location, please?
Okay. My name is Kennedy.
Welcome.
From Lekki Phase 1.
Okay, welcome, Kennedy, all the way from Lekki Phase 1. Let's hear from you in a minute.
There's something I just want to say about this.
Okay.
How long are we going to be living like this in this country? How long? You can't even pick nothing inside the market. You can't even buy it inside the market. You can't even buy pepper. You can't even buy onion in the market. Things are getting out of hand. If I come out front of my house, you see some people hanging around there asking me for money. Oga, please give me money. Oga, please, my family is suffering. Oga, please help us. How long are we going to live like this in this country? Other countries are building good things in their own country, but Nigerians are getting worse and worse every day by day, for God's sake. How long are we going to live like this in this country, Nigeria? I don't have much to say, but how long are we going to be living like this in Nigeria? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call. We really appreciate it. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello, are you there? All right, give me a call back. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
I'm 18 from Topical.
All right, welcome. Let's hear from you in a minute.
Yeah, they proposed a planned protest by Nigerian youth. It's not overdue. Hunger and starvation insecurity no type, no political party. So they should not heap the blame on anybody. They should heap the blame on themselves. Because when you point one accusing finger at somebody, the rest is pointing back at you. If they do well, there won't be any need for protest. And those who were protesting from the south, when Buhari was president from the north, the Jew and Mumu don't do Niger Delta Avengers, Mr. Right, Obasanjo, and the rest of them, where are they? They went to deep sleep. They should continue to before they will know, before they will wake up, fire will consume their houses. Then for the Shaibu court statement as a deputy governor of Edo State, those who are blaming APC, the judge, is it the same judge that Wiki was used against APC that disqualified APC in River State? Is it not the same judge that Wiki used, the judges, even the Supreme Court, the former Supreme Court judge, the middle of the list, the APC lost bias to PDP? If the same as Obaseki, not APC member, what Shaibu is doing is what he say he emulating from his principle, his former principle, Obaseki. What has Shaibu do or done that this the current governor there has not done? He denied APC member from accessing the House of Assembly. He didn't saw them in for 4 years. So now the table are turned out. If Lagos, Edo is not Lagos, then we see that man, he will, the next the day they will hand over, EFCC will be waiting just at the gate or at the stadium gate, main gate, to arrest him. We will come for it. Then for Nduna is speaking the minds of many people. The government is being blinded and blindfolded. They don't understand. They don't care to know the mood of the nation. People are very hungry. And all this discrimination, nepotism that people are taking to the highest level. So they're not there. They're waiting for him. He's a member of a new PDP that defected from PDP to APC, that formed APC, that make APC to supposedly Buhari didn't won the election 2015. Tinubu could have been a president today. And those that work against the party, the likes of Akpabio and Wike, they are not the best men. Anybody that make Wike his best friend is number one of the North. So the North, they are just waiting for him. They will not take, they say they are criticizing that the people that is concerned, they fought against the military, they are from the North. Now they are giving the opportunity in 2023. He has used the opportunity, using it against them. So they are waiting for him. People should not worry.
Okay.
Then, Then Ndume is a very vocal person right from the time of Jonathan up to the time of Barry was condemning Barry the service chief for not accounting for the money, the billions of naira voted for procurement security. To fight the Boko Haram, insurgency in the north. So he has spoken the man of the people. He just wanted, he willed the northern senators to cause mass defection in APC. They should not worry. Since they want to bury Nigeria, the Nigerian people will bury APC.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your call. Thank you. We need to hear from others as well. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Shema.
What's your name and location, please?
To Mr. Peter Onanuga.
He can hear you.
Okay, so what I want to contribute is that you see, some persons, I think they suffer from kwachoko of the mouth. If actually Onanuga say that word, I think it's close to being having kwachoko of his buccal cavity. You see, the thing is, even though, let's assume that, yes, it's the obedience they are coming out, they want to protest. It's protest against the law of Nigeria or against the law of other countries. That's the question I would like to ask them. Okay, people are suffering. A part of people in the country called the obedience, they are suffering. I don't want to come out and tell the government that they are suffering. Is it, how wrong is it? It's not wrong now. So, for the fact that they are afraid of this protest, trying to find one or two ways to boycott the protest, that shows the level of how far they've taken us to in this country. That shows that they've taken us down to the drain. As a matter of fact, they've drained us, to the last point. You see, okay, people want to protest. So, what is their business? So, what is his business? Did they tell you that they are coming out to protest or cause violence or mayhem in the country? The answer is no. So, why are there people always behaving like this? All this kind of injustice is injustice. It's not fair at all. And the whole world is watching us and seeing it. You can imagine right now, the country now, everything is just propaganda. Everything in this country is propaganda. From the Dubai matter, there's someone who went and bought out the fake this thing, to the Dangote matter, that this one, that one, everything is just propaganda. How can we continue to live like this? So it's high time the president, if they think that maybe they're in power and they have power is translated as they may know. So that's what I have to. So okay. It's not fair at all.
Thank you.
It's not fair.
Thank you so much for your call. Surely appreciate it. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Are you with me? I've picked your call, Lo. Oh dear, give me a call back 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Good evening, Radio.
Good evening, Monday. How are you?
Fine. Okay.
Monday, can you hear me? Yeah, he can hear you. Monday, yes, are you all right?
Yes. I've just waking up. Sorry for what.
Now you did enjoy your Monday. Oh yeah, no wahala. Let's hear from you in 2 minutes.
Okay. You see, the obedient people, they are the youth, and some of them are vibrant and young. If they call for protest, it may cause a lot of destruction. But even the obedient people, are they only obedient people? Are the people are hungry? APC people did not affect them. APC people, are they not going to market? During Jonathan, this is same subsidy that Buhari was fighting against him, make him to not enter power. Now, Tinubu wants to do copycat now to bring renew that subsidy is gone and make things to be rising. And people cannot afford even common minor thing that people can afford. It's making people unhappy. It's making people, because everybody is going to market and they are affording things that is minor. So if this protest will make things to change, and they will know that the people outside the country and even within the Nigeria are not happy, let them put things in order. Because I see Tinubu as a copy. This APC government, Buhari have taken it away. So he's just doing his own, that let people know that president is there, just a copy government. He's not doing anything.
All right.
He's not making people happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Monday. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Thank you for holding on.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Final.
What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, this is Remy. I'm calling from London.
Welcome, Remy. Let's hear from you in a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Anarchy, well done to you. You are a hero. Look, everybody can see. Those who loot Nigeria, who are looting Nigeria, knows that Nigerians don't care about morality. They know most Nigerians don't care about value. Just steal land, just can't give us. That's why they keep stealing. Secondly, look, every reasonable human being know that the best way to keep social stability or stability in society is to make sure that people people have access to food. Look, average Nigerians have no food. And people when no get food, and they talk calm. If you never eat, you no go get sense. Trust me, if you ever fasted before, I mean, you always look at the clock, look at the time. You just want to eat because it is food that powered your brain. Obedience don't need to go out because obedience knew that this is work Bola Tinubu will do to Nigerians. So I'm asking Bayo Onanuga, right? When he used to be a part of Nadeco, I mean, was Nigeria like this? I mean, Nigerians were still able to eat. So now, what they should focus more on is solving the solution. Choma, you see my concern right here, because every society has problem. Don't let us fake it. But what you do to solve your problem, it was matter. Instead of these people to be addressing the problem, they are busy trying to keep a safe face. Choma, during the 2008 global crisis, economic meltdown, I don't know if you remember, do you know there were MPs, members of, politicians in Europe, they were not collecting salaries because government have to embark on austerity measure, and politicians have to show example by making people understand that we have to cut costs. Some of them were, in fact, my MP, who is now the foreign secretary for Britain, David Lammy, he told me specifically that they were not getting paid because the country had to sacrifice. Nigeria, wake up. That protest should go ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Yama.
Yeah.
There's one thing why I want to say about this government.
I beg, before you say tell me your name and your location.
My name is Eze Marozuli.
Welcome.
I'm calling from Ago.
Okay, thank you for calling. Let's hear from you quickly.
So, what I want to say about this government is this. Since 2016, they come into power. The time they are coming, they carry broom. Broom is their symbol. That broom, they tie it with rope. And always, if you see broom is always dry up. Do you see broom where they fresh in life? It's always dry. And it's always weeping. That's 2016. I myself, I say, these people, they want to eat good and bring back. And that is how we see. They sweep our good, they sweep good luck and bring back. And this is that first day till this time around. Nothing is going on in Nigeria. All is they are sweeping all our money into their pockets and punishing land that is flow with corn and milk, punishing them with hunger. You know, say anybody who is hungry, he gets power to do anything because he's hungry. Someone who believes he can have even to speak. So, in this way, I am telling them, number one, maybe they go change their logo. Then let Nigeria change their own logo. because the Nigerian logo is animal. Why do we human being? Let them change their logo. Nigeria change their logo so that they will be behaving like a human being, have mercy like a human being.
Okay.
Because they don't get mercy, they don't have mercy. They will just look masses. They be dying, and they not touch their hand because that is what I say.
Thank you, Madam Eze. Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman.
What's your name and location, please?
My name is Udeme. I'm calling from Maryland.
Welcome, Udeme. Let's hear from you in 2 minutes.
Thank you so much. My greeting to you and Mr. Peter Notike.
He can hear you.
Mr. Bayo Onanuga. He's looking for who to kill or who
Bayo
to blame for their
Onanuga.
And then God passed them. Because you see, when somebody is confused, he's looking for whom to blame. Let them continue to blame Obi instead of concentrating on governance. They should look for people to blame. Look for you to blame. Look for poor people to blame. Let them continue to blame, They should not blame themselves. They will see very soon that God is alive. And they believe that they are supreme than God. They should know that God is the most supreme. Let them continue. Let them lie to us. Let them suffer us. Let us be like slave to them. And their families and their relations and their selves they are enjoying. Forget, the time has come that they will know that God is supreme. In Dume, he tried because he's not telling us what is going on. But before, when he was enjoying, he did not tell us. Thank God because it's a conviction that God put in between them. And from them, they will fight themselves. And more truth must come out. And more revelation we must hear. And the action will be taken by God. Thank you, Shoma.
Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. I think we have room for about 3 more calls and we'll call it today right here on the program. 3 more calls and we'll call it today right here on the program. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
Yeah, my name is Ian John. I'm calling from Alimosho.
All right, welcome, John. Let's hear from you in 2 minutes.
Yeah. What really matters me about it about the country. The filling station Dangote have tried to build, Nigeria cannot supply with crude oil, and then they are talking about landed costs. Is it does it mean that they have given Dangote to produce fuel in Nigeria? Can we pay for the landing costs? And again, we are talking about the process that is coming, that the Peter Obi is the one that is organizing it. That person is not talking well for himself because it's not Peter Obi alone that feels hungry in Nigeria. Everybody, the child, everybody, the student and the young and the old are feeling the impact of Nigeria. And people are saying that because of what is happening, that Peter Obi is the one that organizing the protest. In fact, if the protest has to go, let him hold. Let everybody know. Let the president know we are suffering. We need to be relieved from all this type of thing. So that is my own concern. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much. 2 more calls. I will call it today. 0700 903 903 903. I'll be taking your comments on YouTube and of course on WhatsApp very, very shortly. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Chama.
What's your name and location, please?
Okay, this is Zerenda calling from Spain.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening, Ms. Anosike.
He can hear you.
Happy birthday to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Our good Lord keep you and protect you. for the good work you're doing.
MM.
I'm just never say because I'm driving while calling. So I guess someone said about people that hate and love. People, the one that hate you, let them go and damn transformers. So my dear sister, yeah, exactly. I'm going to touch on Onanuga. I think Obi should impress me for one day. This kind of thing, you just call the person, just call the person, let the person go to court and they prove to Nigerians. This is something that is capable of causing a problem. He can't just keep quiet. What people every time they keep using his name. If Obi want problem, when they ring his election, it would have caused a problem in Nigeria. But he just take it calm. Okay, you said the one, just face Nigeria. And up to now that people every time the people will just singing with his name. Let Obi do something. Take people to court. Let them prove it. Even so worried that they even use this thing, that Twitter this thing that they call people for a protest. Nobody's mentioning his name because he's ready to respond to them. Obi should impress me for one day. I don't know. Let him impress me. So my dear sister, I know that the time is this thing on the. I don't think I've said it or everything all. Just to add to what he said, Oyandume is my hero. My dear sister, have a great day. Mr. Nosike, so may God keep protecting you, my dear brother. Keep your good work. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. We'll take one final call, and that will be it on the recap for this evening. So, who's the lucky final caller? Who's the lucky final caller? Who's the lucky final caller? Hello there. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, Madam Chioma.
What's your name and location, please?
My name is Chuka Chuda. I'm calling from Ogun State.
Welcome, yes. Chuka. Let's hear from you in a minute.
Yes. Mr. Adosike, happy birthday. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Yes. It is worrisome and very, very disturbing that a senior journalist like Onanuga is making very slanderous comments about people all the time. And I think it's a political infirmity. I call it obiphobia. Pardon me for using that, coining that word. I think it's obiphobia. It's unfortunate. Can't he feel the pulse of the people in the country? And each time he does this, he deflates himself. That's just what I want to observe. It's most unfortunate. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. You're my final caller for this evening. We'll now head on to taking your comments on YouTube and, of course, your messages in our WhatsApp inbox. Beginning from YouTube, we have Idoko Ejike saying, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Idoko. Chicolino says, I do not see the reasons behind this Onanuga's foolishness. Is Peter will be the reason for inflation and hunger in the land? Quinet Okanwa says Nigeria is in a big trouble. Lumen Reshonis says Onanuga is and he does not need to be responded to. All right, let's move on over to WhatsApp where we have more messages waiting for us. Chema, your guest always calls for Wike's suspension from PDP just because he go against his own party, PDP. But your guest is now praising Ali Ndume for doing the same thing against his own party. He should always be consistent with his analysis, not only when he favor him alone. He should stop accusing our judge on air without any evidence to back his claim. You're doing well with your follow-up question to your guest, or else your station for have many questions to answer. Olu from Badagry. Hey. Okay, Olu, thank you for your message. Good evening, Mr. Nosike and Chioma. Onanuga should be interrogated and brought to book for the illegal, denigrating, scandalous, and defamatory utterances meant to destroy Peter Obi's credibility. Obi didn't tell Ndume to criticize Tinubu's governance. He didn't tell the terrorists to make Tinubu's governance ungovernable, and is innocent of the economic hardship the masses are faced with. Bayo is misinforming the presidency and misleading the masses falsely. Judiciously speaking, if I were Mr. President, I would replace Mr. Bayo with Mr. Ndume, who will be feeding me with a top-notch, genuine information regarding the happenings in the country. I'm absolutely sick and tired of the economic hardship and futuristic planned solution by this administration. And so are my fellow Nigerians. You made a law to prosecute those on suicidal mission to stop private and public violence, but chose the euthanasia method of eliminating us. Which is better, suicide or mercy killing? Unless the presidency gets rid of the artificial fuel subsidy and restores an enabling environment for all and sundry, nothing will stop us from picking up stones like the Israelites of old. Chisco from Ijegun, Ijagemo, Jaga Road. You know, I really like to see this road that's called Jaga Road to really see how it looks. If it's really Jaga or oh, this is just a metaphor. Good evening. I'd like to commend your guest, Mr. Anoske, for his in-depth analysis. However, his analysis is not balanced. He should stop misinforming Nigerians. The president does not spend 10 million per hour. He should stop inciting Nigerians. Ndume was removed because he contravened the Senate rule. VOP should not be an opposition party. There's hunger in Nigeria, but the government is on top of the issues. Bayo from Surulere. How old is that man who is always mischievously calling the name of Peter Obi? When I see his tweet or hear his annoying comment, one would think it's coming from a teenager with bipolar. What a shame. And these are the kind of people associated with the president of the country. If Tinubu can't caution him, then they share the same divisive thoughts. Well, you aren't different from those you tolerate. Again, a team was a supporter of Buhari. I remember back then he would call to insult people who call Buhari government to question. During NSAS protest, he also said unbearable things. He was the Peter Osifo back then, but good he has repented. But Peter Osifo would not learn from his predecessor. What brought Peter Osifo into this conversation? Come on. Good evening, Chairman, Mr. Anarchy, Mr. Jude from Okota. Please, I'm contributing on the protest. Please, if Tinubu cannot tackle the insecurity for the farmers to go back to their farm, fight corruption by recovering our money, including the Buhari's own, to rebuild the refineries, let him resign peacefully before the day of the protest. He should not wait for us to come. Until everybody starts talking without considering my party, my religion, and my tribe, Nigeria will not go anywhere. People like Onanuga and Philip Shaibu are chameleon. You cannot them from changing and attention-seeking individuals. They got tired in propaganda. Chinemere from Agbara. Good evening, Sister Chairman Ogano. These our leaders are not telling us the truth. Please, I'm hungry with my children since yesterday. I have a disability and my wife left us and ran away. Oh dear, because of my condition. Please, I need help so that we can eat. God bless you, Mr. Paulinus from Isolo. Okay, Mr. Paulinus from Isolo. We see your message. We see your message. Good evening. Okay. I cannot see the message that you sent today. All right. Good evening, Sister Chairman and your guest. My name is Chinedu from Alaba International Market. Help me tell Onanuga whether His Excellent Peter Obi is the cause of high prices of everything Nigerians are using today. I don't blame him, but he should mind his business and leave Peter Obi alone. Second, after the first day of the protest, the reaction of security agents will determine whether it's going to be peaceful. If it doesn't affect them, their family members and others in one way or another related to them, they are warming up. But let's watch and see. It's not a surprise because our past colonial masters have said it, that after 100 years of being together cannot work, we should go our separate ways, and that's the best solution now as it stands right now. Good evening. My name is Kainde from Ota, Ogun State. Your guest has spoken my mind better than I could. God bless you abundantly. I do not trust this administration at all. I'm just praying God spare us to the end if we still decide not to protest like Kenya. Good evening, Chairman, Mr. Anoske, my journalist of the year. Okay, you can see what's happening to Ali Ndume as a party loyalist. Can't you criticize government? Considering the situation of the country, is this democracy or imperialism? For the NSAS protest killings of innocent people and some imprisonment was okay. ECOWAS confirm it. The government hates protests. These government hates protests. They would rather send police and army to intimidate the people and for them not to protest. Is it not a violation of human rights? Like they say, the sinners run it when no man pursue it, but the righteous is as bold as a lion. Dio from Fagba. Good evening. I'm from Adeyemi Kamaru from Satellite Town, Lagos, Nigeria. From Satellite Town, Lagos. Nigeria had a record high of 7.52 trillion naira trade surplus in the first quarter of 2024. This has never happened before. This means that because of the monetary reforms by the current government, Nigeria is now exporting more than imported, and the growth is largely in the non-oil sector. Nigeria is growing exporter of refined petroleum products to Europe and West Africa state. Ghana, a fellow petroleum exporting country, is largely dependent on LGP from Nigeria. Okay, good afternoon, Chairman, Mr. Anoske. I read today that Argentina is officially out of recession in less than 8 months of the new president. But in Nigeria, the government is dragging the country more to a rest in peace. As for Onanuga and other praise singers of this government, they should wait and not be afraid. We're coming. They are doing well. Ezekiel from Ejigbo. Good evening, VOP. How can this man be making a blanket statement against a motor show like this without any evidence? His accusations are not radio friendly because no proof to what he's saying about the Honorable Justice. Emmanuel, National Assembly members slicing their salaries for whatever reason is symbolic uses for politics. Choma Obi is a phenomenon that can't be ignored by this present government. This is from Udom. Good evening, please. I want to know if pensioners will also benefit in this new minimum wage. Kenechuku from Festac, Jamiu from Mayor. Okay. Let's move forward. Chairman, Mr. Nosike Bayo Onanuga. Okay, I'm trying to open your message. While I try to do that, okay, Bayo Onanuga has made himself worse than Lai Mohammed. There is an African saying that if you ask a child to mention people he knows, he will start from his mother's concubine. Bayo should go and collect his clothes where the rain met him and leave innocent to be alone. It is obvious to the deaf and blind that Nigerians are wallowing in hunger and abject poverty. Tony from Ijagemo. All right, then. Let me see if we have more comments on our YouTube platform. We have Anako Nwa Anosike says, my beautiful people. Chijoke Anokuru says, good evening, Chairman, Mr. Anosuke. Good evening to you as well. The program is coming to an end, and we're just about to give our concluding thoughts on the different topics which we have discussed there. I must thank you for sending in your comment, and of course for sending in your messages as well. To the 200 people watching on YouTube, I must thank you as well. You have made the program really, really interesting. You've made it interactive, and I'm really, really, really appreciative of you. I appreciate your tuning in, your listening, your writing, your calling. I really, really appreciate that. All right, let me take you back to the different topics which we have discussed today. We started with Bayo Onanuga saying Peter Obi supporters are the ones planning the upcoming protest. We talked about petrol landing costs now being over 1,000 naira. Of course, we also talked about the Federal High Court in Abuja reinstating Philip Shaibu as Edo State Deputy Governor, and also the House of Reps members slashing their salaries by 50% as a cure for the economic hardship in the country. And finally, we talked about Aline Dume rejecting a fresh Senate appointment after he was removed as a chief whip. He was made the chairman of the Senate Committee on Tourism, and he said, I'm not a tourist, I do not know anything about tourism, and therefore I reject this appointment. Anyway, all this and more we have discussed today, and my guest, Mr. Peter Anosuke, have been dissecting these issues. The message just came in. I'm surprised that Bayo Onanuga is making the same inglorious path used by Lai Mohammed. Now, Lai Mohammed is walking in infamy after 8 years of propaganda while Buhari misruled Nigeria. This Onanuga of a man should know that Nigerians are wiser than they were in Buhari's time, probably because of the increased hunger. Okangbe Lina from Mafoluko. Mr. Anosuke, I need your concluding thoughts on everything we've discussed today.
Well, two things. The Kamaru or whatever, that name sounds like that of a terrorist.
No. I cannot agree to that, Mr. Anosuke. I would need you to retract that. How would you say that the name of a listener, somebody who took their time to send the message, sounds like a terrorist? I don't agree with you on that, and I would implore you to please retract it. You can say anything you want to say, but you don't need to attack his person. You can disagree with his notion, but please do not attack his person.
The name sounds to me. This is an idea that comes to my head.
Yeah, you can. I need you to keep that idea in your head.
I didn't put it there.
You may not agree with what he has said.
I didn't put it there. That idea came into
just
my
all right.
My
counter
head.
his statement and leave his name
alone. It's
alone.
not me that put it there.
No worry. Just counter his statement.
Me to court. It's not me
counter
that put
his
the idea
statement and leave his name alone.
Kamadu sounds to me like a
I need you to counter his statement and leave his name alone. We're running out of time. We need to go.
So he said that Nigeria is now exporting more than they are importing. What are they exporting? And they are borrowing. So if you see people with this kind of this kind of name, they are dangerous to our country.
How is he a danger to the country?
When
because his opinion does not align with
Nigeria
yours.
Is exporting more than they are importing.
He's saying what he's seeing, the idea he has in his head, the same way you're saying yours.
Okay, and that's why the idea in my head sent me that he
counter with facts. Counter with facts. That is not allowed, please.
Then for Aline Dume did not criticize APC. He spoke about the condition of the country. He didn't betray APC in any way. He said this is the feeling in the country, that there's hunger, there's anger, and that the president should try and do and do things that Tinubu has been caged. He doesn't know what is happening again in the country. The same thing is happening in the United States at the moment. Americans are complaining that those around Joe Biden are not giving him the true picture of what is happening in the United States. So this is not just a situation of Nigeria. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. Those that surround a head of state, a president, a prime minister, doesn't give him the actual facts or what is happening in the society. So what Andy Ndume said, he criticized the situation in the country. And everywhere in the world, criticism is welcomed. You don't see somebody who criticizes you as your enemy. Rather, he's your friend. He's helping you. So he did not betray APC. He did not sabotage APC. So that is what I want to say.
All right, then. You have been listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Choma Innocent, and the voice you've been hearing belongs to Mr. Peter Anosike. I want to say thank you for always joining us on the program. Thank you for your calls. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your comments on YouTube. Thank you for your messages on WhatsApp. Thank you so much. I really cannot thank you enough. Without you, there is no us. And honestly, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been burning their data watching us on YouTube. Thank you. You can find me on all social media platforms at _the radio girl. At _the radio girl. You can find Mr. Peter Anosike on Instagram at Peter Anosike77. And of course, you can find VOP on all social media platforms at VOP903FM on Instagram, on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, and on YouTube at VOP903FM. Till I come your way again next time with another episode of the recap in exactly a week's time, same station next week. My name is Choma Innocent. Remember to do the best that you can to make Nigeria better in your own little corner of the world. Have an amazing weekend.
You have to know the past to understand the present. So, let's bring you up to speed on important moments in the polity that you might have forgotten.
Politics as normal have been suspended today.
Detailed review plus analysis of all the local
Senate moves to recover 6 trillion naira ground rent from property owners stage 5.
and foreign stories that made the headlines during the week.
President Putin accepts defeat. President Putin keeps on coming back for more.
All of the intrigues,
CSS confirmed interest flow in store in central government.
tension,
The process through which people come into office is far more fundamental, more important than what they do now.
suspense, and political dramas.
This is a shining moment. I commend